Hello everybody, this is Doomerang3 here today, and joining me for this audio commentary is...
Hi everybody, I'm Zakkujo, and I composed the original soundtrack to this audio drama.
Yeah, so I'm basically the director and editor of this whole comic dub. I'm working solo for this one, I believe. In part 1, I think Hyper voice acting, the guy who also does the voice of Knack the Weasel, helped me out with parts 1 and 2, but he didn't want to help me out for part 3. Because he's busy with Adrenaline Dub, since he's also the editor on that one too.
Previously on Sonic
and he also voiced Knuckles in this comic dub. I mean, I know in parts 1 and 2 it was Chari 5 who voiced Knuckles, but Chari 5 apparently didn't want to return.
Love the Sonic Unleashed music here.
Yeah, I felt like it was a nice recap music that would totally fit this comic dub.
Oh yeah, it really matches.
I basically made the panels move based on the action sounds.
Alright, here we go. Here we go. This is a really cool part of the music. Yeah. It was actually your idea, I believe, to incorporate Casino Park music.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, and I did the voice of Eggman for this scene. I believe Ricky Wright was the voice of Eggman in Champions Parts 1 and 2, and I try to mimic his voice or try to sound similar enough to how his performance was in the previous 2 parts. I mean, like, I'll let you guys in the comment section decide if I did a good job or not.
Personally, I think you did pretty great, but that's just me.
I actually like that rooftop echo I added to both Breezy, Eggman, and Metal Sonic's voices in this scene.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a last-minute change when I was adding extra polish to the audio.
I really like this music here, too. Actually, we had something different here, or I tried to put something different here originally, but I'm glad that you had me change it, because I love the way that piano part sounds.
It really adds to the menace of Neo Metal Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
And I love what you did with Breezy's theme here, her motif.
I don't know if you noticed, but this part of the leitmotif is actually in a different key from the one you just heard a little bit ago. I thought it was just a cool little detail to add.
I gotta say, I praise Wubcake's performance as Breezy here. She just nails the character so good.
Oh yeah, she's awesome at Breezy.
Casino Park Arena today.
And that's Wolfblade 93 doing the voice of the tournament announcer Wes Weasley. I believe in parts 1 and 2 it was Sir Talks-A-Lot who did the voice of Wes Weasley. But again, he was one of the few voice actors from previous parts that didn't return. And that's Rio Dies, or Dees, I think that's how you pronounce her username. She does the voice of Tails here. And also in parts 1 and 2, Tails was voiced by Rarity Fangirl VA. But I did use some of Rarity Fangirl's grunts and emote sounds from parts 1 and 2 for certain parts in this comic dub. So she may not be here, but she's here spiritually.
I must say, I love Sonic's voice, man.
Yeah, I was say Nathan Mudson did the voice of Sonic here, and he's also returning from parts 1 and 2.
Thanks, Sonic.
I felt he put more enthusiasm and pep here because most of his line deliveries are funny, and you'll see in the bloopers and outtakes video that I'll release sometime later. Two Stooges.
Yeah, he really matches that. Like, he just has that Sonic voice. That chomp, dude. That's so funny.
Wait a minute.
I like the poof sound.
What event is this? Hey, plumber Lloyd.
No, Mario. That's Sonic at the Olympic Games reference.
You can use a this round, Weasley said. Special conditions just for you, she said. We're all friends of Eggman, she said.
The anime vein.
Backstabbing. Say something else.
Yeah, and Steam was to emphasize how pissed he is.
His eyes.
He was enthusiastic for this part.
I love this. I love this part. I love that sound. Just the sound that Bean makes when he gets freaking kicked.
He says,
Yeah, it's so guttural.
I like how he shake the panel when he said, and the X's and the I's poof. I'm like, poop.
Stay down.
That was an improv by Hyper Voice Acting. Learn to disrespect me, really.
Wait, did Bean have teeth in that last scene?
Apparently some of his teeth got knocked out. That was an edit done by me. In the original page, he didn't have no teeth knocked out. I thought it'd be funny.
I was about to say.
In the right hand corner of the screen, that was a small flashback to the last part where SBO lost a bean. And I was the one who did the voice of Vector on the phone. He said, "Yeah, it's Vector. Don't accept the charges. We can't afford it." But how could you lose to that duck? I thought you were a ninja.
You're too good at that voice, man.
And I also did the voice of that operator phone guy, like, "You have a collect call from."
There's no telling what Weasley might do next to make things more.
And that's the Majin V as SBO. Oh god, I love this scene here.
Yeah, this was really fun to compose for.
And Hyper Voice Acting, like I said, also voiced Knuckles in this part, as well as part 4, the next part. And that's Donnie Girl 12 as the voice of Amy, also returning back from the previous 2 parts.
I don't know if you heard it, but in the music, what we just heard was actually Amy's theme from, like, the main riff of Amy's theme from Sonic Adventure 1. Thought that'd be a cool detail.
Yeah, my sweet passion. I believe that's the name.
Yeah.
I added some motion blur effects here.
There it is. The best line in the whole dub.
One of the audience was like, "Ow! My eye!" You thought you were fighting? Isn't that a bit excessive?
Yeah, he really should have read the room there.
And yeah, I did the voice of Razor and King Puff here, as well as Crusher the Chow. I try to make King Puff sound just as flamboyant as he did in the way they changed it. I was really hoping that Big Hedgehog would win. that emoji on top of Tails' head? I think that was the anguish emoji con. Like, welcome to the club. I had a lot of blink or you're missing details and moments in this dub.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. I love, because I'm always like analyzing stuff that I watch. So
I mean, sometimes it blips on the screen just for a brief second, but if you pay attention to it or freeze frame at certain parts, you'll see some small details I added. Like, for example, we haven't talked about this earlier, but when Eggman has the Noni kanji on the top of his head when he got surprised.
That was the first thing I noticed when you sent me that scene. I was like, am I going crazy, or did you put the kanji for Nani there?
Yeah. And then I added a blush for Neo Metal when Breezy touched his hand. That was very subtle. It just blipped on screen for a second. Or when Breezy flicked his nose, I added a comic book word of saying flick when she flicked the nose.
Oh, this is my favorite. Yeah, this is my favorite song I wrote for this, I think.
Yeah, and that's Hezu Neutral as the voice of Honey the Cat here. Replacing Gabby VA, who voiced Honey in parts 1 and 2. Because I believe, or her full username is Gabriella VA, but apparently I did try to contact her and see if she wanted to come back for Champions Parts 3 and 4, but she didn't respond for over a year, so I assume she either retired or just don't want to do it.
Yeah, life happens.
But Hezzy Neutral did a pretty good job at sounding close or similar to how Gabriella VA did her honey voice from parts 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I like how the panel shipping says, "Woo!" and the hearts. Like, even at least she takes her loss with pride and dignity, unlike Tails. She's happy to lose.
Tails is salty.
I love these ads.
Yeah, this is the first thing we did.
Yeah, we kind of did the scenes out of order from shortest to longest.
Yeah, that first scene was the last one we did. The first scene in the whole dub.
Yeah. And I did the voice of the Breeze TV commercial announcer. What do you say? And now a word from our sponsor. Or this line right here, like, Breeze Media has become the world's #1 choice in gaming, television, and movie entertainment. I try to sound like one of those smooth commercial announcer dudes.
Oh yeah, this
Cat lips.
this leitmotif you had me write for the kind of similar. What did you send me? Was it the Home Alone leitmotif to kind of yeah.
Yeah, it was the Wet Bandits leitmotif.
Yeah. And you're just like, can you make something like this? I was like, I don't know, I'll try.
And I think you did a phenomenal job on that.
Well, thank you.
Big fan of based on his laugh. I like the tilt there.
Oh yeah, this is also a
enchilada.
Yeah, it's good. That was also a rendition of Knack's theme as well.
Yeah, from Sonic Triple Trouble. Oh yeah, Knack's trying to play mind games with Knuckles. I had this multi-echo effect because here's how I did this voice effect for Knack. Like, I basically had to make like 8 different channels, well, 9 different channels, like his voice resonating from like the right, the left, up, down, northwest, northeast, southeast, and southwest. And then I added this choir effect to the voice. Since Knack is running around Knuckles really fast, and I want his voice not just resonate from every direction, almost like he's trying to confuse Knuckles, like, where am I now? Where am I now?
Yeah.
Basically what the panel was depicting. You shouldn't have gotten too close. This was an improv line. I immediately regret everything, and when he said, "Oh, Strew." I love the NNA son of him. He says, the SpongeBob wah sound. And I added the "my leg" gag from SpongeBob. One of the audience members said, "My legs." Well, Razor lost his bet. Yeah, he lost to a child of all things.
Eggman keeping his physique, I see. Keeping it in check.
And I believe that's Fairfield Fencer and 02 as the voice of Orbot and Cubot.
Doing things my way.
I thought that started when you pirated our pay-per-view channel.
Metal Sonic, what's your ETA? Perfect. Bean, once Knack is on his feet.
But don't worry about it, you'll see more Metal Sonic action in the next part. If you felt like he was underused for Part 3. Like, Part 3 was mostly set up and to continue off of the fights from the last part.
Yeah.
You've come a long way, Breezy. But just because you rode my coat.
I love that line. Like, really? I find him tiresome.
Looks like
I don't find being tiresome. But I guess he would get annoying if you had to hang out with him a lot.
Yeah, especially all the time.
No fancy setting this time? I guess Breezy doesn't want any distractions from the main event.
Then we better put on a good show.
Oh yeah, the Sonic vs. Knuckles fight is going to be the opening scene for Part 4.
How many times have I kicked your butt? 3? 4?
Oh, now I feel bad. I must have beaten you up.
That was the same fist punching and clench and crack sound that I used in parts 1 and 2. Like it happened when the Knuckles versus Bark fight. But Knuckles like, you again, huh? That suits me just fine. Any last words? Like that was like a callback to that sound. Like I love how I made the fist clench and crack sound.
Yeah, that's what I mean, dude. You're crazy at sound design. Just knowing where to put specific sounds, and there we are.
I mean, it was basically 3 different sound clips where it's like the swish, the fist pat, and then the knuckle crack.
Yeah.
And I decided to make the credits similar to how I ended things in parts 1 and 2, where I just show the actor's name, the character they voice, and a picture of the character on the right side of the screen.
Yeah, looks legit.
And I basically used some funny pictures, like Tails is angry, Knack scared, Knuckles' sly, devious face. I mean, we never really saw devious Knuckles that much until Frontiers kind of brought back the devious side of Knuckles, like Sonic 3 and Knuckles showed Knuckles was mischievous.
Yeah, and then like for a while they just portrayed him as dumb, and I really didn't like that.
I mean, the last Sonic game that had malicious Knuckles was probably Heroes, like when he purposely tried to scare Tails in the introduction of Hang Castle and Mystic Mansion. He said maybe that was the ghost of Shadow we saw earlier.
Yeah. Every time I think of like that era of Knuckles, like where he was dumb, I just think of in Sonic 06 when they're like, when I think Sonic like throws him a thing and he like fumbles in his hands and drops it. It's like I don't know, it's just really goofy, and I don't know. I'm glad Knuckles is back to the way he was now, at least for Frontiers.
Yeah. I find it funny that like as soon as
yeah.
Oh, that's your credit. I mean, as soon as like Dan Green voiced Knuckles, they made Knuckles act more dumber and hot-headed.
Yeah.
And many people forgot that Knuckles used to be cool, calm, and collected in some moments.
Yeah, he would really only get mad like in the moment. He wouldn't just be like. It just felt like, I don't know, when they kind of dumbed him down. If he was either dumb when he wasn't mad, and he was mad when he wasn't dumb.
Yeah. I mean, like I think 2005 Shadow the Hedgehog showed that he was more hot-headed and prone to temper and anger more, and then Sonic Riders, which came out like in February of 2006, showed the first minutes of dumb Knuckles.
Yeah, I haven't played Riders in so long.
You know, when Tails was explaining how the extreme gear hoverboards float and Knuckles' eyeballs spin around his eyes, and he couldn't get Tails' technobabble. And yet, Knuckles perfectly understand the Space Colony Arc situation in Adventure 2 without asking, what?
Pretty Patty's wrong.
Oh, man.
That was a little troll ending.
Alrighty.
Well, that was it, everybody. That was our audio commentary to Champions Part 3.
Heck yeah.
Why did I say parts?
I appreciate you for having me on. This is a lot of fun. Yeah, I cannot wait for Part 4. I know it'll probably be a while, yeah. But
okay, so what do you want to say? Your closing thoughts?
it was a lot of fun. I think it's great how it came out. I think you used my music great, and yeah, I'm excited to be a part of this. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, like for Part 3, I feel like well, not half. I would say more than half of this dub was your music. Like I'll say 70% of it was your music. 30% of it was reuse OSTs from various video games or shows.
Yeah. And then we did a lot of remixing too, but it was really fun remixing a lot of the Sonic songs to create references and whatnot. I really enjoyed that part.
And I think for Part 4, I'll have you do the entire thing.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be sick.
But I did use some tracks from Sonic games that fit well, like Amy in the Hospital, but I used the SA2 event song called The Bass, which...
Yeah, that's when Sonic's in prison, right?
And yeah, it also plays when they told Knuckles to find the key to the door just before Death Chamber starts.
Oh, yeah.
And what else? I played in various other parts of the game if I don't remember, but yeah. I remember played also on the Dark Side story where Eggman was slamming the console after his shouts and our threats fell on deaf ears.
Oh man.
But yeah. Okay. And I also had a lot of fun editing this too. I wanted to go all out with this comic dub in comparison to the previous comic dubs I've done in the past. And again, I probably wouldn't have come out of retirement if it wasn't for Adrenaline Dubs. Like, they make some awesome IDW Sonic comic dubs on their YouTube channel. If you can go check them out if you want to. I'll also leave a link to their channel in the description box below. But yeah, those guys just killed it. They just freaking nailed it. And then afterwards, I was like, you know what? I actually want to do comic dubs again. I kind of remember why I used to love making these. I think I burnt out and lost my passion to do these. I think around 2019.
Yeah, I can understand that. It's, you're doing the same thing over and over again. It can get pretty tiresome. But I am glad that you came out of retirement because what you made is great. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I'll say Champions Part 3 kind of makes Champions 1 and 2 look kind of obsolete by comparison. I'm thinking about remixing Parts 1 and 2 with the same editing quality as Parts 3.
That'd be fun.
Stuff like that. And I guess you can also add some of your motifs from this part and add it to Parts 1 and 2.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I think I might do that after I'm done with Champions Part 4, and then I'll just go back and remix Champions Parts 1 and 2.
Then you can do one giant video where it's just all 4 parts in one.
oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that. I did that with the Waves of Change arc, where in their original release, there were individual parts, and then I added all 4 parts together into one seamless movie. So
yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay, well, everybody, this concludes the audio commentary to Archie Sonic 270 Champions Part 3 comic dub, and we'll see you all in the next one.
Bye.